Today on Car Attraction, you join me at INGLENOOK Farm, which is a new location, at least for my classic car YouTube channel, for the INGLENOOK Classic, which is turning out to be a pretty good classic car meet. This is like a holding pen before it's 9, and then all the cars and so much more. It's still crazy early, so we're going to see a lot of cars today. There's also a bit of vintage bike content coming up as well. There's a really cool old traditional bike repair shop which I'm going to have a look around as well, and there's some nice stuff there. So it's going to be a bit of bikes but a lot of classic cars today. Nice looking Super Mix, and that Z3 looks beautiful in blue, so let's see what turns up. But I think before all the cars turn up, let's have a look around a proper traditional vintage bike shop. Right everyone, well as you can see, the American section here is looking pretty populated. There you go, alliteration as well. But the bike shop I was talking about is here, the Vintage Bike Stable, and I've bought something which I will show you probably quite soon, but the owner is a friendly chap into the bike, so let's go and have a look inside. So your name, sir, the bike mechanic?
Oh, I'm John.
John, right, and what is this bike here for a start?
This is actually a bike I'm building for Beryl Burton, who was a famous racer in the 60s, 70s and 80s, and I'm going to do a film on it. I'm just getting a couple of bikes ready for her. There's that one there. One there. But the basket will come off on these.
So this is a Raleigh Medal ladies bike, sort of 80s, is it?
Yeah,
era?
mid-80s, yeah.
And then this is, what year is this one? The Holdsworth.
That'll be 70s as well.
Really? Yeah, that's a beautiful bike. I mean, yeah, all these parts are very, very nice. So how long have you had this shop here?
I've been here about 12 years.
Oh, right. But you're closing down now to do stuff from home?
Yeah, do stuff from home.
Right. So I guess you're quite experienced in restoring the old
bikes,
stuff like that.
Got masses of frames.
we can see, yeah.
Boxes, got the Yankee there.
It's a proper old bike shop, this is. I love it. All the parts, original handlebars, old wheels.
It's a bit of a mess, I'm not the tidiest person.
But the best shops are a bit of a mess. So what bikes are here then? These ones?
We've got a Colnago, there's a Chiron, Holdsworth, Paganini, which is very Italian like, very much like
Paganini? Wow.
And the Record Ace.
Raleigh Record Ace. Yeah.
I've ridden the Record Ace on the Relic of Britannia a few years ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when I first came in, this Holdsworth here really caught my eye. It's a beautiful paint job, isn't it? I guess, is that one a keeper, do you think?
That's for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. You've got pretty good taste. That's a 70s lightweight.
Yeah.
So is it mostly the lightweight stuff you're into, racing?
I'd do anything really. I mean, like this old Alex Isles here.
This one here.
I built that up for me actually. But I didn't get around to finishing it.
It's a rare bike, isn't it? Yeah, and then another Holdsworth here.
Yeah.
So Holdsworth sort of came after the Freddie Grubb, didn't they? Which is one of my bikes, is the Freddie Grubb on the channel.
Really nice bikes, Freddie Grubbs.
Yeah, mine's a 70-inch single speed, used to be fixed, but it's sort of my quick bike in the collection, so I put a freewheel hub on it, and that's the one I zip past all the modern carbon fibre frame Lycra bike guys on, which is, yeah, it can be quite fun. Let's have a look down here. What's this nice red one here?
That's one I'm doing a swap on that.
Soens.
Carrera.
The Soens, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really nice bike. I was just selling that for somebody. Very small frame.
Yeah, it's a great looking little frame, isn't it?
Another Liverpool builder, so they've been there quite a few years.
Chrome forks on that one as well. More frames, wheels, all sorts of parts.
Everything's a mess.
And now we're getting to what I've agreed to buy off you for £125. It's absolutely gorgeous. 1950s, you think?
Yeah.
Vintage bike stand. It's the sort of thing that I won't need immediately, but when I hopefully get more space, I start restoring bikes as well. Because I've got about 4 or 5, I think, at the moment. But it's the sort of thing that the quality is going to be way better than anything new. So, and it's quite rare, I suppose, as well. So, might have to try and squeeze that into the Jaguar we've come in today. But yeah, we'll have to go dismantling that. So I've come to a bike shop and not bought a bike, which sounds good, but I spend just as much on a bike stand. Yeah, but it's the sort of thing that'll be useful for. But I'll keep this for, I don't know, probably decades. So I don't plan on getting out of bikes anytime soon. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that one back to the shed. But yeah, it's a great emporium you've got here, a proper old bike shop. Thanks for letting us have a little look around for the YouTube. Well everyone, thank you very much to the owner of the vintage bike stable here at the INGLENOOK farm. Oh wow, a Ford Gran Torino Starsky and Hutch car. And yeah, very happy to have acquired that stand. It's the sort of thing that you just don't find, so I'm very happy. And as you can see, the classic cars are flooding in. Let's nip under here, just beyond the MGA. There seems to be a lot of classic American cars out and about at this meeting. I think actually it's just turned 9, so all this lot are coming through here, which is actually a really cool arrivals lounge. This Ford Cobra 2 sounds pretty crazy. You can barely hear that lovely MG Magnet. That is a beautiful 1950s classic British saloon. This is a really cool little arrivals lounge through the barns. This is a unique way to get into a car show, isn't it? It's cool though, I like it. MGB GT V8, Ford Escort 1.3, another stunning MGB GT V8, and another MGB GT V8. And the BMW Z3. This is a really cool little arrivals lounge actually, the MGTF. I'll switch sides just behind the VW Thing, that is actually what it's called. And we can behold this gorgeous Mark II Jaguar. Look at that. It's a little bit dark, so you probably can't see a great deal of it, but it just looks absolutely stunning. Mid-1950s classic British saloon, 3.8 litre straight 6-cylinder engine, absolutely wonderful. Sounds pretty tasty as well, and hopefully, I think to be honest I've missed a lot of the cars coming through here. This is the back end stuff, so these will be going through to the second field, and there'll probably be quite a few more as well, so we've got a really good turnout, so it should be a good video for my first go at the INGLENOOK Classic. Oh wow, everyone, look at this. Well, you probably can't see it actually, but it's a Di Tommaso Pantera. That is stunning. 1970s V8 supercar from Italy, American engine. Just shut the engine off there. Maybe it's getting a little bit warm. Simca SS1, very rare little sports car, and a good bit of Farina goodness. This is a Morris Oxford that is currently out of focus. The camera doesn't seem to like this really atmospheric arrivals lounge. Just behind the Morris Oxford, the Mazda, is it the RX-3? This is the MX-6, there we go. I do not know a lot about those because they're so rare, the RX-6. You know, I think I've seen that car before. It's the only one around the UK classic car show scene that we see. Very rare and a really nice looking car. Oh wow, look at this, an incredibly rare JDM car. This is an AutoZam AZ1. Extremely rare mid-engine, three-cylinder little Japanese K-car sports car. Double overhead cam turbo. Complete glass all the way around, and an AutoZam AZ1. I've only seen those in like video games and books, to be honest, so that's really cool to see. And a Mitsubishi GTO just behind. It's a smart looking 1970s classic British saloon, the Rover P5B 3.5 litre low roofline saloon. That's actually really cool. Of course, a custom registration plate size on the back of those, the Cavalier Cabriolet. Second MGA of the day, this one a fixed head coupe. Looks like it's going to be a really nice classic car show today. Another car I can't identify. What is this one? It looks like a modified convertible out of like a Mark II Fiesta. There's a Mark I Fiesta behind. That is something I have not seen before. That white one at the front looks to be a collection of 80s and 90s Fords. The Smart Roadster, another 3-cylinder mid-engine sports car. Those are actually quite desirable now. They're quite cool little cars. Mercedes, what is it, the W124, Cabriolet, Triumph Herald convertible, plenty more cars rolling in now. That's nice, the 1250 in bright blue, dark blue interior. Ford Escort Mark 1, that looks really nice on those steel wheels, and another 1990 Mercedes. Not often you see one of these, an MGB GT V8, but a rubber bumper era one. That looks pretty sleek and black. Rare beast as well. I think this is the Daimler variant of the Jaguar 420, so a Daimler Sovereign based on the Jaguar 420 platform. Very rare again. I'm sure this will remind Dad of and Grandad of Grandad's old Series 3 V12. That's a 6-cylinder one, but Grandad a long time ago when Dad had a Series 1 V12 had in that colour a Series 3 V12 XJ Jag. Looks like we'll be getting a pretty solid turnout today. Great variety that you get with a lot of UK classic car events. Very smart TVR Griffith. Oh, I missed that one. Simca Estate. Couldn't tell what it was from the front, to be honest. I was a bit distracted, but a beautiful original paint Simca Estate joining the turnout. Yeah, certainly a pretty good number of cars rolling in today. There's that Simca Estate. For an event that's only on until 1 PM, you know, it's not a whole day classic car show. It's in a way a bit more of a meet. It's getting a pretty good turnout. What is this? It looks scary and fast. This is yours. On first glance seems to be your typical 4-cylinder Caterham, but there are a few more exhaust manifolds there, and that has a V8 rumbling away in the front there, which would make that pretty terrifying to drive, I reckon. Now, if you guys have been watching my channel for a little while, you'll know my videos where I drove Grandad's MGB GT on L plates as a learner driver. And on the subject of old interesting cars driven by learner drivers, here is a Unos Roadster, basically a Mazda MX-5, that seems to be driven by someone 17 learning to drive, learner driver plates. It's not often you see interesting old cars that have learner drivers, because usually insurance for these sort of things is a bit ludicrous, I think is the word, but that's good. It's cool to see, isn't it? I bet seeing the MGB GT with L plates on was a bit of an interesting sight, and that's probably a rare sight as well, a Unos Roadster sporting the L plates, and this is especially rare. It's an automatic Mazda MX-5, which is not what you see often at all. Usually, you know, 99.9% of these are manual gearbox cars, but this one, a learner driver learning in an automatic Mazda MX-5 Mark 1 apparently, which is pretty cool to see. Probably one of the rarest sights today. That is a very nice TR6. Yeah, so many lovely classic cars turning up now. I'm going to have to keep a bit of a pace up because I've already got through a couple of batteries. I might need to get a few new ones. So let's get going, and there's probably still loads more to arrive, but we might as well start on this road. The Sunbeam Alpine 1725 Roots Group Classic British Roadster. Nice little Mini there as well. A Capri. These cars are super popular. Get absolutely everywhere one of these. You know, it's not really a classic car show without a Capri in it somewhere, and usually there are a few of them as well. That's a very smart looking Rover P6 3500S, so it's the Rover V8 ones. These were sold with 4 cylinders. This is the 8-cylinder, and being an S, it's a manual gearbox car. The non-S 3500s would be automatic, probably 3 or 4 speeds, and that one's probably a 4-speed manual. It's quite an early Land Rover, very early 50s or late 40s, but yeah, that looks really cool on those wheels. 100E era Ford Anglia here, the 2-door, quite a usable and affordable little classic car. Got the MGTF, the super rare Unos Roadster MX-5, and looks like the Mustang Cobra. I don't know whether it is a Mustang or not. It's having a couple of problems. Oh wow, yeah. Well, sounds pretty good now, but E83W van. You never see those at shows. Yeah, it's a rare car, these actually, the Ford Cobras. They're sort of like a smaller version of the contemporary Mustang. This one sounds like it's got a pretty beefy engine. And for more beefy engines, the 289 cubic inch Ford Mustang, that looks absolutely gorgeous, doesn't it? And this looks to be a Dodge, maybe this one, early Dodge Challenger. fantastic colour and purple vinyl roof, wide steel wheels. It's the proper muscle car look. It is a Dodge Challenger. There we go. The tyre writing as well, looking absolutely awesome. This has got a 340 cubic inch, so about 5.6 litre V8 in that one. And the air intake looking pretty cool. There's a lot of classic American cars here today. I'm not sure what this one is. The pointed front on this Ford, I'm not exactly sure what model of Ford it would be. The Ford Torino, there you go. 500 this one. Column change, very 1970s and very good condition. So Ford Torino, I don't know whether it'd be 500 cubic inch because that would be huge, but a lot of these American cars did have engines that big, and that is a stunning looking car, to be fair. Is that based on a Citroen 2CV, I wonder? Lomax are those called? Oh wow, look at this, a gorgeous Ford Zephyr. That looks absolutely stunning, lovely sounding 6-cylinder. Let's just skip across for a moment and have a look along this row. A Ford Popular rolling in now in red. You got the Porsche Boxster, and this is it a TC? This one, sir, MGTC. Right, so the TC was like the post-war, because they did these sort of both sides of the war.
Yeah, this was just after the war.
Yes. Right, so what engine is this then?
1250cc.
Oh, right, nice. It looks, is it overhead valve by the looks of it? It's quite...
It's a standard X-Pag engine.
Yeah, it is. Nice looking engine. Have you been polishing this up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very shiny. So have you restored this car? It looks immaculate condition.
Restored 25 years ago.
Right. That's impressive, yeah. It looks, you know, it looks fresh. It really does.
25-year-old restoration.
Oh yeah, Dad's been saying a lot recently because we've got old cars. Even a car that has been restored, it's still a project, in that you still have to keep it going. You still have to work and maintain if you're using these regularly. But no, that's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I haven't seen this car before. It's there's not a speck of road muck or anything on this one. It's incredible, yeah. Oh. I like your little rally timing clocks or something over there. They're quite...
I saw them on eBay and couldn't resist them.
Yeah, they're quite smart, aren't they? Are they like original ones, or are they...
Oh yeah,
oh wow.
Stock Hoyers.
Really? Tag Heuer, let's have a look at those. They're pretty tasty. Original Tag Heuer timing gauges there. Those are absolutely wonderful. Yeah, very, very nicely accessorised. Yeah, thanks for a look under the bonnet. That is absolutely beautiful. And just next to that, a much later sports car in red compared to the 49 MGTC 1990s era BMW Z3, and a very sleek, to be fair, Jaguar X350 XJ, that shape, the aluminium body. And this one is for sale, the Humber Super Snipe, sorry, Humber Hawk actually. The Super Snipe was a slightly different car. It looks basically the same, but maybe different trim level inside or something. 1963, this one. Looks like it has been restored. And this is absolutely lovely. I had a guess it's late. Oh, sorry, yeah, 63. Actually, I was about to guess the age of it, but it is 1963. V8 up front. Wow, I don't think that would have been original. I think this from factory would have a 6-cylinder inline 6, so V8 has been put into that. So that is actually a bit of a sleeper. That would be pretty quick. As for something that's definitely not a sleeper, the Hillman Super Minx, just the 4 cylinders in these, very affordable. This is quite a presentable little car. It's got the same 1725 4-cylinder roots group engine that I think went into the Sunbeam Alpine we looked at a couple of minutes ago. Lovely interior, really nice and original looking car. It's the sort of paintwork on that one that it's mellowed a little bit, so it's either an older restoration or original, but just looks right. That looks absolutely lovely. A Morris Minor 1000, it's a bit of a windy one today. Some very, very, I'm sure the owner's been polishing that one. The MGTF. Oh wow, look at this. On the back of this trailer we find a midget racer. These are like off-road dirt track, NASCAR, loop sort of things. I'm sure you know what I mean. And some of those have like flathead Ford V8 engines in them. That's so cool. I think they're great. I'm looking forward to having a look at that one later. But yeah, just beyond that, absolutely immaculate MGF. Got the Volvo 480 here, really unusual looking car and very, very rare. And for another real rarity, a Ford Cortina XR6 and a Jaguar XJ. That is our car just behind, and that's really rare. And yeah, look at that. It looks kind of similar to my Austin Pathfinder pedal car actually at home as the Cavalier rolls past, but that's a little bit bigger and looks to have a V8 in it. So these, you know, these are sort of 0.75 times size racing cars, I said, for off-road track oval NASCAR style racing. And they're absolute lunatics, the guys who drive those. And yeah, I can see this one looks to have a V8, so that would be pretty silly quick.
I got you a car for you.
Rally stickers on the 205. There's been a sudden influx of Peugeot 205 GTIs, all in red. I think these are very classic cars. The R109, I think it is, shaped Mercedes SL from the late 1980s, very sleek. And a 2CV, I think that was the one that was on the programme most of us know, Car SOS. I think it was the E28. Dad, is that the Car SOS 2CV? I think it is, isn't it? So yeah, they're restored for the owner on Car SOS on TV, and that's a very nice 520i E28 5 Series. BMW, of course. Nice early era chrome bumper MGB GT with the Webasto roof. One thing that is quite cool about this event is we've got the road just over there. You can see the classic cars that are coming in for today's meeting. I can hear quite a throaty sounding motorbike driving across. I've just saw a Plymouth Barracuda go across. There you go, Z3 BMW. There's the motorbike. Hey, that sounds a bit tasty, doesn't it? Yeah, that motorbike sounds nice. I think it'll come through there. Looks to be a 50s British racer. Ooh, like a Triton or Norton, something like that. Yeah, what Dad said actually, this is a South African market, being an XR6, the Cortina, which is very rare. It's cool with that original sort of plastic rear window shutter thing. Here we are in the XJ8. It's a little bit too far for something like the Buick. So this is our, you know, the long distance car. Interesting enough still to take to events. This looks absolutely fantastic. A BMW Z3 in the best colour, in my opinion. This is something I'd love to own. Dependent on what engine it is in this one. Oh, 1.9. Okay, so if I had to go for one, I'd probably have a 6-cylinder one, a 2 litre or a 2.2 or a 2.8. The 3s and 3.2s are a bit expensive, but you know, 1.9, they're a little bit lighter. Some people say they handle better, but I just like the idea of having a big, huge engine up front. And this MGB GT looks absolutely fantastic with those mini light wheels. These are really well sort of sitting on this car. They look to be banded wider than original. That is such a good looking car on those wheels. Good showing of BMW Z3s here today. I think that looks very sleek as well in black. That's a 3 litre, so quite a car that one, and a huge old Ford F100 Ranger pickup. And I don't even know what this is, some kind of, sorry I zoomed in a bit too far there, I wasn't looking at the screen. Shirtless in the Land Rover, living the high life. And that TR6 looks lovely in the hardtop. I'm just going to divert to take a look at this little midget racer. I said it's similar to the Austin Pathfinder we have at home. This sort of grille design is very similar to the likes of the Austin 7 twin cam pre-war racing cars, which the Pathfinder is based on. But those had little 4 cylinders, and this is a V8. Is it a V8? Is it It looks, well, yeah, it would be, yeah. If I can see that at that angle, there'll be another one on the other side. Is it? Oh, yeah, yes, I can see the spark plugs coming out. It says a flathead V8.
Let's lift the bonnet for you.
Oh. So what sort of era is this built up in?
Well, the motor's 30s.
Right.
They really got going into the 40s, I suppose.
Right, so it's a flathead Ford V8, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but it's a rare one. It's just not, you know, there's...
I can imagine it's pretty quick with that engine up front. Have you had this? Do you drive this occasionally?
No, it's not run for 40 years.
Right.
And, it wants a rebuild really, although the motor's been rebuilt.
I imagine it'd be quite loud with that exhaust setup.
Yeah.
Be a cool thing to have running though.
Midget racer, much modified Ford V8 Kurtis.
Right, there you go. So very packed in flathead Ford V8. I mean, the car must weigh nothing, so that'd be pretty quick. Do these have like 2 gears or something like that? I imagine they can't have many because they're just designed to go around in sort of circles, aren't they, on off-road courses? Twin carbs, modified head by the looks of it on this flathead. That is just so cool. It's like a VSCC pre-war racing car on a budget and a little bit smaller. It's very similar to the Austin Pathfinder we have. It's almost uncanny, the resemblance, because this is probably an American build. Yeah, it's a very similar body. I think this is probably the sort of thing that is like a very simple gearbox. As I said, you probably have to push start it. It's probably got 2 gears. That's so cool. That would sound epic as well. A flathead V8 in a car that small, that would be epic to drive. Right, now that we've seen that awesome little midget racer, that is really so cool. Let's have a little look down here. Mach 2 Cortina. This looks to be a pretty serious Austin A30. Not much going on original with this one. This has got, I can't really see it under that huge air cleaner, the sporty air intake, but more modern 4-cylinder engine in that one. I'm sure that goes pretty well. Really rare 1990s era Alfa Romeo, I think a 156 or something like that, 164, I think it's a 156 there. These were very successful in touring car racing and they look absolutely insane, much more sort of elaborate than this, but this is the road car it was based on. We can have a little look at this. I appreciate a lot of people that watch this video is into older cars, but this is in immaculate condition, a 155 V6. That's actually a very desirable car and the basis for a very successful Group A touring car. Pretty serious Austin A30 here. The speedometer goes up to 200 miles per hour. This is actually an original 1930s Kurtis V8 midget racing car. Yeah, that is an incredibly rare car. And another super rare car is this Volkswagen here, D-Reg, being 1980s in era. It's a very original old estate car. Look at the visibility out of those tall windows. A Passat CL. There you go, so rare. Still haven't really scratched the surface of a lot of the cars here today. MGA convertible, fixed head coupe there, the hard top and the convertible. Another MGF. There's a Skoda Favorite. That. Oh, favourite, okay. That makes sense, favourite. See a camper rolling in over there. Morris Minor, that looks pretty sporty on those wide wheels. Aston Martin DB7, those are gorgeous looking cars. Lotus Elise, that looks absolutely immaculate, and these are meant to be really well sort of drivers' cars. MG Magnet, ZB by the looks of it, this one. These are really usable 1950s classic British saloons, and look at this for an original interior. How nice is that patination? Yeah, that MG Magnet looks absolutely gorgeous and very much a car I'd like to own one day. Pairing of trio actually of MGB GT. These are the V8s, the Rover aluminium block V8 engine. For another V8, but in the mid of the body of this car, the Di Tommaso Pantera, Italian built, Italian designed car with, I think it might be a Chrysler V8 in the middle of these. Manual gated gearbox, awesome sounding and looking car. And look how low down that engine is. It's a huge compartment down here, but the engine as far forward as possible for the central weight distribution, the gearbox behind. So yeah, there's so much space there as well. You can almost put like a parcel shelf over it and have some storage space, but that's not what these cars are for really. But yeah, that's really, really cool. It looks absolutely awesome in white as well with those wide arches. Just as the TL4 with the Sebring hardtop rolls past, we've got another British classic from the 50s, well maybe early 60s actually, this Morris Oxford being the Farina era car. Cool period mod on this one being the wind deflector, As you can see here, sort of like a perspex glass thing that comes out to stop, so you can have the window open but not too open, if you know what I mean. And this one is an automatic gearbox, which is very rare, very early era for an automatic gearbox. And this, the Farina, you know, straight line design, Morris Oxford, also sold as the Austin Cambridge with a different grille, all under the British Motor Corporation BMC factory. And that's really rare, especially rare being an automatic one, the Smart Roadster. And this looks absolutely incredible, this DAX. It almost looks like a Caterham, but as I said, Caterhams, they have little Revy 4 cylinders, and this has got a booming, looks to even be a big block V8 motor, absolutely filling the front of it. It's unbelievable looking car, this one. Yeah. The speed on this one goes up to 140. I reckon this one would actually be faster than that. It's an unbelievable car, and I just heard a lovely sounding Triumph GT6 go past. That is absolutely crazy, that one. And very, very clean as well. If someone wants a pretty interesting ride, then there you go. That one is currently available for another front engine V8 sports car. This one more of a GT, a lot more relaxed than that one will be. The MGB GT V8, the rubber bumper, 1990 W124 is it? I don't know my W's too well for the Mercs. And this is rare, effectively a Jaguar 420, but a Daimler badged variant. And I think that Triumph GT6 will be, yeah, look at that, another nice original interior. That Triumph GT6 may well be flying past us in a mo, so I'll stick around here for a moment just to see that one, because it's got the lovely sounding Triumph inline 6-cylinder engine. So a very rare Daimler variant of that, and there you go, Mark III GT6. Nice little blip on the down change. I found in my learning to drive, I can't do a downshift without blipping. It's just the natural thing to do. And again, yeah, I like the sound of engines, so maybe that's why I religiously rev match. Jaguar XJ6 4.2 Series 3, same colour as Grandad's old V12, the VW Camper, and this Simca Estate. Simca Special, or Special being French of course. It's got a retractable rear window. That's not something I've seen before, but it means we can have a little look at that lovely, practical, airy interior. This is probably a late 60s, early 70s era car. Very practical, classic. Looks absolutely lovely. I do approve of that period correct Motorola car radio in this MGA Roadster. Specific model, the Simca 1501 Special. If you want a practical classic car, then look no further. No, I haven't actually been to the INGLENOOK Classic as an event before. Dad went as the super original Skoda. That's immaculate, probably really low mileage. It's so clean. But yeah, I haven't been to the INGLENOOK Classic car show. I suppose there's a bit of everything here, but it's actually really nice. And as I said, my favourite thing by far about this is how you can see the cars flying past on the dual carriageway before they pull in. I just think that's so cool, because usually I like to see the cars moving, but unless you wait ages to see them accelerating out of the exit, you know, they're only going to be moving sort of along in first gear and reversing into their spaces. So it's cool to see them actually, you know, doing a decent lick. That Z3 3 litre looks awesome in black, and the Ford Puma looking very cool in that colour, and is it a Jaguar XJR? I think this one might be. This is effectively our car, but with a 6-cylinder supercharged engine. Ours is a naturally aspirated V8. The XJR variant of our car would be a supercharged V8. Lovely MGB GT, the earlier production cars, these with the sprung steering wheels, which I think looks so nice. I also think this era, the E28 generation BMW 5 Series, looks absolutely awesome. 520i, so a 2-litre inline 6-cylinder engine, 5-speed manual gearbox, and the styling of these is just absolutely fantastic. I'm going to step over some plants, but yeah, that just looks awesome, doesn't it? And this Citroen 2C V6 was actually a car that featured in the very well known by now Classic Car Show series, the Car SOS series, so that's pretty cool. I'm sure that's had a pretty crazy restoration done on it to get it looking that well today. I think these Merc SLs, this generation R109, really classy looking cars. I think they nailed the styling of these. Late 1980s, this looks to be a very nice and usable and original interior, maybe original paint and silver. Two-seater sports car, real quality car, 300 SL. These came with a wide variety of engines from about 280 to 500, the V8s being the 500s, that one being the 300 will be a 6-cylinder. There's plenty to see down here as well, walking along the back of the cars here, because it's a little bit nature reservey. You know, when people grow their gardens to like help bees and stuff, it's like that instead of well cut grass. But here we are, the Ford Consul Classic, really distinctive looking cars. There is a Mark II MX-5, the first MX-5 we've seen of the day, which is, well, no, the car isn't for sale, but a black tonneau cover for this car is Audi GT. Doesn't look to be the top of the range Quattro, a slightly more base spec, but still a great looking car. And look at this awesome, oh sorry, why did I say Austin, the Thames E83W van. Don't know why I would have said Austin. That's effectively a Ford or a Fordson. I think they are called the Fordsons, but you know, Dad's had so many of these across the years, and they're really adorable little vans, very low geared. You know, cruising speeds for these is probably 30 miles per hour. We don't go much faster than that, because being a little commercial van designed to carry heavy things, you know, these were probably everywhere in late 50s Britain. They were made before the war? I think they were just after the war, actually, sort of late 40s, but you know, every local business would have had one of these when they were relevant to their time. And yeah, really low geared, designed to carry heavy stuff. You know, every sort of, I don't know, like window cleaner, painter would have something along the lines of these gorgeous little vans. That looks in really usable condition. They are lovely, aren't they? Just beyond that, really nice and original, gorgeous little Fordson E83W van, E83W van, my voice went a bit weird then, is the Ford Zephyr 6. This is a great example of a really usable, long-legged 1960s classic British saloon. Really lovely classic car, these, 1963. And yeah, Zephyr, top of the range, 6-cylinder engine, absolutely wonderful car to drive. This will be in great styling as well. I think they're really good looking cars. Column change, manual gearbox, I think probably 4-speed. Might be a 4-speed with an overdrive, which would give it just that little bit long, make it that bit longer legged. But it will be motorwayable. Motorway came in 65, so this is just before, but it'd probably just about do it. This I think is a Lomax or something along those lines, based by the looks of it on a, well, I was going to say based on a Citroen 2CV. To be honest, I'm not too good at identifying 2CV engines because I haven't seen under the bonnet of many, but I think it probably would be something like that, but I'm not too sure. It's certainly, I think, yeah, there's a Citroen badge on the front, there you go. So this is most likely something like a Lomax based on the Citroen 2CV front wheel drive, 600cc, 620, something like that platform, and a really rare little car. It's probably the only one around actually. A Series 1 Land Rover, super early production, late 40s, early 50s, started in about 48, and this one doesn't look much newer than that. Another Capri. And the little Fiat Cinquecento Sporting, that's a really cool 90s hatch, isn't it? These are the sort of cars that, you know, at a variety of old car events are really gaining popularity. It's a cool little thing, isn't it? To be fair, I quite like that. MGB GT. Another lovely SL Cavalier and a TR6 looking very smart down there. And just a couple of JDM cars, or trio of them actually. Mazda MX-5, Datsun 280 ZX, that's rare. Subaru STI Impreza. And this is a interesting modified little Ford Popular, had the wings off and then the headlamps bolted on the inner wings. It's actually quite cool in a way. It's the sort of thing people probably would have done if they're racing them, sort of drag racing in Britain. It doesn't look very modified apart from that. It's actually quite cool in a way, because you know there are loads of Ford Pops, and you know it's a straightforward thing to just chuck the wings back on. So I actually quite like that. I'm not into a huge fan of sort of modifying classic cars of this era, but I like period mods, and that is the sort of thing that someone would have done when these were just really cheap cars in the late 1950s, early 60s, just to be a bit different and more race car like. So I actually think that's quite cool.
Yeah.
Under the bonnet of the yellow TR6, you can see the Triumph injection system, the Lucas PI injection. Actually, it will be on this one, matched up to a 2.5 litre inline 6-cylinder engine. We're even parking along here, wow. In magenta, this one is the classic Mark III Triumph GT6 6-cylinder engine, the same 6-cylinder engine in a 2-litre form as the TR6 we just saw, but this will be running off carburetors as opposed to the Lucas PI injection system. And yeah, it's the Triumph magenta colour, this one, the purple, really distinctive 1970s Triumph colour, TVR Chimera and a TVR Griffith there. And we'll have a little look. I still haven't done the majority of this row here, so we'll have a stroll down there. And then also we need to figure out about dismantling that lovely vintage cast iron bike stand. That will be very helpful if I ever want to do a bigger job on one of my old bikes. And this is photogenic really, and I'm sure you all know what this is, a Series 1 Jaguar E-Type fixed head coupe. 3.8 litre being a Series 1 Jaguar XK straight 6-cylinder engine. This one is just the 2-seater. They were sold as the 2+2 with a higher roofline, but a lot of people prefer the lower roof lines of these, just the 2-seater cars. You can't tell it that much, but you know, it's just E-Type things, because they make quite a few of these actually. They're the Series 1, 2 and 3, but you know, they were really popular cars, and even though they're not now, they were actually quite a sensible price for their time. I know that recently, in the last sort of 10 years, these have dropped a little bit. They've been pretty crazy, around 100k or something, but I think they're starting to soften a little bit, which is good for people like me. And my highlight of the motorbike section has to be this absolutely stunning vintage Norton. This looks to be a 1950s era racing motorcycle, but look at this, the road holder, original forks. This could have been, I'd be very surprised if it's an original works machine. It might have been converted from another Norton road bike or built up from parts. I don't know the history of this one. The air intake's there to cool the disc brake on the front there. Big single cylinder, not 6-cylinder. I know there are some 70s Hondas with 6 cylinders, which is pretty crazy, but this is what I love about vintage motorbikes. Look at this though, it's just so lovely, isn't it? Big aluminium tank, open exhaust, look at that, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And this is just the best looking bike. Now, mid to late 1950s I'd guess this one would be, and a super quick bike, open exhaust, awesome sound, and some of my favourite sounding motorbike engines are the single cylinders. They got a fantastic sort of thup thup, really agricultural lumpy sound, which really suits these racing bikes. I've spent a while on this one, so I need to look at some cars, but that is absolutely stunning. Pick up where we left off on this row, classic cars, the Escort 1.3 Ford Popular, and we've seen plenty BMW Z3s today, but this is, you know, a step above the rest. This is a Z3M wide body BMW M3 engine, the others 2.2s, 1.9s. This a 3.2 BMW E36 M3 engine, faster than an M3 it will be because the M3 is a big saloon car. 321 brake horsepower, silly quick car, and the sort of prices there are far way ahead of all the slightly less, so you could say BMW Z3s, but it's justified because they are a proper weapon. And the Camaro, I know they tend to chew up the rear diffs, just the immense torque and power of the 3.2 engines, and yeah, really cool. And these are called the Thing, the VW Thing. Not a lot more to say about it. It's a rebodied VW Beetle, you could say, based on the World War II era Kubelwagens, but this dates from 1973, so you know, what's that, about 30 years on from the original Kubelwagen design, and they're making the same thing still. Probably an original German market car, judging by the instrumentation and the fact it's left-hand drive. It's a very distinctive car though, isn't it? You know, it's a cool thing to go around the beach or something with the surfboards on. You got that classic VW image, haven't you? And here is something very much to my taste, a classic Mark II Jaguar 3.8 litre manual overdrive car, which has been modified to a 5-speed manual. Originally it would have been a 4-speed manual gearbox and overdrive. This one, very tastefully modified to be a 5-speed, so that would be a proper quick car, and also a car that can Well, yeah, it's not a fast car, but it's a car that can maintain a high speed consistently and reliably for a long, long time. That would sit at 70, maybe even quicker with a 5-speed gearbox. That would raise the gear and make it such a usable car. Compared to that big engine, the 3.8's had 220 brake horsepower, which is more than enough for a car like this. Everyone talks about, in the 70s these were dirt cheap and they were the robbers' cars just because they're old cheap cars with big engines up front, and this is certainly not a cheap car anymore, but it's an old car with a big engine up front and a later gearbox, which would make it pretty quick. And on first glance an MGB, but experts will know that is a MGC, judging by the bonnet board with the 3-litre 6-cylinder engine. For a bit of Japanese cars now, the Mazda MX-6, really rare car and absolutely immaculate, and the AutoZam AZ1, unbelievably rare Japanese K car, 1990s era, mid-mounted 3-cylinder engine, 2-seater, unbelievably rare car. Didn't think I'd be seeing one of those gull-wing doors, you could say. Let's get a little look at the interior of this one, because there is such a distinctive little car. Now I'm still not sure what this is. This is the car we saw coming in quite early. It's a Mark II era Ford Fiesta at the back, but it's something quite a bit sleeker up front. It's actually a very impressive conversion. But yeah, well, I think this line along the side comes from the Mark II Fiesta, and the rear lights are certainly Mark II Fiesta, but there's a sleek front actually. It's kind of a good looking car in a way, but I have no idea. The owner doesn't seem to be around, so unfortunately we can't hear what's going on with that one, but if anyone does know, then please do pop it in the comments section below. Got the Triumph Herald 1250 and the Ford Escort Mark I Mexico, and that unbelievable V8 powered DAX is off already. That would be an unbelievable drive. That would be silly quick, probably the fastest car here today. Right everyone, here are the big Americans. There seems to be a dedicated little section for this lot here. The Dodge Coronet, looking absolutely stunning, as the Passat CL departs. A Caliant, I haven't seen this model before, to be honest. This is a very original and rare little, why do I keep saying little? This car is not little. Is it Plymouth? The Plymouth, it's sort of got that Plymouth frontage style, I think it might have. I think that might be a Plymouth, yeah. Plymouth Caliant then, very rare. There's the front of the Dodge Coronet. This is debadged as well. It's very hard to tell. Maybe a Ford. I mean, yeah. A lot of the people who modify these debadge them, which means it's very hard to tell what they are on. Ford Fairlane, there we go then. Says on the back, still the original badging. There's the vintage bike stable where I'll be getting my lovely cast iron stand later. I do very much like the original sort of more quality things. I could spend probably that and maybe that twice on a more modern stand. It'll be nowhere near as good, so I'll take that for 125. This Mustang notchback is absolutely stunning. I think it looks very sort of minimalistic in the grey, and usually there'd be like a Mustang emblem in the centre here and quite a sort of fiddly chrome badge, but this one debadged, just straight lines and the Mustang sort of insignia there. I think it really cleans up the front of the car. Personally, I really love what the owner's done to this one. Look at that, a cool little air intake. Quite a bit of work to get that in there and make it look right, but it certainly does there. Auto box in this one, V8 of course. And this one is the notchback. You can see the back goes like that, bum bum bum, as the GT350 goes zoom like that, as this is much more angular. And that was a very intelligent way of describing the difference between the notchbacks and the fastbacks. But that's just awesome looking car next to that very modified Chevy, originally a straight six, but I reckon that one's got a V8 in it as well. And here is the fastback body, this absolutely stunning GT350. Out of all the classic sort of 60s, 70s American muscle cars, this one from the 1960s, the GT350s have to be my favourite. They make such a unique sound when they're high tuned, the V8s in these. Manual gearbox as well. This one probably is quite a high tune. Yeah, just so cool, isn't it? Really, really stunning looking car. The Ford Gran Torino in the Starsky and Hutch livery, very iconic car. I'm sure many people watched the series Starsky and Hutch when they were young, and along with Knight Rider and things like that. This is a Plymouth Cuda 383 cubic inch V8 in that one, and I think this is probably based on the likes of a 32 Ford Coupe, chopped and very modified with a V8 of some description. I can't quite tell what it is, maybe the sort of typical Chevy 350 cubic inch V8, and quite a minimalistic, you could say, exhaust system. Here's some nostalgia for Mum, her first car back in Portugal, the Talbot Horizon. Just looking at the interior of this Talbot Horizon, and it's so cool actually, how the revs, the tachometer, is in a little binnacle fixed above the steering wheel, and you got under sort of quite a cool raked another binnacle for the other instrumentation, 4 or 5 speed by the looks of it, cloth seats. That's actually so cool here, if you have a little light up tachometer.
Well folks, back home once again, bits of very heavy bicycle stand here in the boot. This is by LD of Germany, proper, substantial bit of kit. I do like that, but the main bit is inside, namely wedged in here. We just about managed to fit it in, but it wouldn't want to have been any taller than it is, so we'll dig that out, assemble it and see what it looks like. Spot of oily ragging before assembly. It's coming up very nice indeed. Yeah, what a substantial thing.
It's heavy.
It's very heavy.
It's good though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's the LD of Germany. It's pretty proper thing, isn't it? That's about right for that one. Handy.
Yeah, I'll change it.
Yeah.
Right, I'm literally just putting them on.
Yeah, just pop them on anyway really for now. It's like a bird feeder. There you go. You didn't need me after all. You see the LD.
Just trying to figure out what height. I'll just get the 27, just lift it. We need to figure out what height it would be when it's sort of in.
Yeah, so this is double-ended, which is good. This one's got some extra padding just taped on, which is good, so that protects the frame.
Yeah, I'll use. Is that about the right height, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, whatever.
Fix it there.
Whatever.
So you think I use the tape side?
You might as well use this one because that'll protect. It's got a nice felt. It's got like a felt, sort of quite a thick felt insert, just to protect the paint on the frame.
There's more tape on it.
That one's got a bit of tape on as well, just to hold it all together. So might as well use that end.
These a little bit.
Right.
Like there, and then the other one. I don't know. I'll figure it out later.
Youthful energy. Is it heavy, sir?
No, I just sort of rolled my ankle.
Right, and before we stash it away, we're going to actually see what it looks like with an old bicycle on it. Which one then? Which one's going to be the first?
I guess I might have
it's got to be.
A heavy one.
It's got to be this one, surely.
Just so I know that it can take heavy stuff.
Okay.
It'd have to go on this way
Would it?
because the cable's on this side.
Right, so you want to watch
Probably in the
so you want to watch your cable for the gear change, don't you? Let go. Maybe we'd have it a bit lower, possibly. Ooh.
Yeah, it can go down a bit, can't it?
Yeah, you'd probably. So if you're in a bike shop, you'd have another bike on the other side, possibly, just to balance the weight out a bit.
Balance it more.
Yes, but It might be a bit much trying to do it with the bike on it. You want to take the bike off and then lower the thing, so it'll just drop down. So you can see what height the crossbar is when it's just on the floor, so it's sort of level with the bottom of your shirt. Yeah.
It wants to be just above that, really.
So if you drop that one down and then pop it sort of here, drop it down to about there, that'll lower the centre of gravity.
Suits it, doesn't it? Looks better than a modern one would.
Oh yes, bob on.
Could maybe even go a little bit lower, actually.
It probably could go a little bit lower. Well, it looks perfectly in keeping with your
Yeah, that does look good.
aged velocipede. Oh, it looks most splendid.
I wonder if now I should actually put these on the top.
Well, I'd leave it for now.
I guess I might want that height.
Well,
yeah.
perfect. Trying out the old FH grub on the stand as well.